Good afternoon. Welcome to today's webinar event. My name is Joshua. I'm going to be your presenter today. It is promptly 1 p.m. Eastern Time here on this Thursday. We're here to talk about auto-assigning giver numbers in church windows donations. Before we get to our topic at hand here, a few things. Click the little red arrow on the sidebar of your webinar control panel to minimize the webinar control pane there, gets it out of the way. Drag it off to your second desktop. If you have a dual monitor set up, just to get it out of the way, allows you to see everything I'm doing here efficiently. We are recording today's webinar event, so the video will be out on our website here at some point in the next week to 10 days or so. I believe we already have something out there on this same topic from an earlier version. It frankly, folks, hasn't changed that much. So probably any video that's out there now would still probably offer the same kind of insight and help that we will today. If you have questions for me, please type those into the questions portion of the webinar control panel. I will do my best to keep an eye on those, and we'll see what we can't do to get those answered for you. Please keep the questions on the topic at hand, on our auto-assigning of envelope or giver numbers. I want to answer other questions for you. I'm just not equipped. It's not what we're here to do. If you have other questions, please contact our support staff. We are always available and happy to answer any questions you have. Finally, the topic is taken from our D102 workbook today, pages 9 through 16. If you don't have the webinar, the workbooks, we do try to follow along as much as we can with our workbook materials, with our webinar topics, for continuity's sake for folks. If you're interested, please visit the workbooks page right here under beginning at churchwindows.com, right here under training workbooks. So this is what we use for much of our webinar topics here as much as we can. Not always, but most of it. And today, certainly D102, page 9 through 16 qualifies. You can order those right online and print them yourself, or you can order them and we can print them and send them to you, whatever you need. They're very helpful, and so again, we kind of try to keep a through line here a little bit for you, help offer some clarity. All right, so as the top of page 9 discusses, it says the auto-assign numbers function. So when we go into donations here, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, sorry. We go up to givers, and right up here at the very top, let me get out my highlighter, we've got this option called auto-assign numbers right here. So there's a lot of power in this screen, okay? So when we click on auto-assign numbers, it opens up and pops up and says, you have exclusive access to this window. We're going to click OK on that momentarily. But what the auto-assign numbers function is best used for is when you want to make a change to giver numbers or envelope numbers for a whole bunch of folks, if not everybody, as opposed to going in and editing them one by one, which is very, tedious and time-consuming, or maybe more often when folks are just simply wanting to change a few or a handful of envelope numbers. The auto-assign numbers function is not going to be suitable for just a few. You're basically wanting to make a whole sweeping change to a lot of numbers simultaneously, and in many cases, all of them, okay? It definitely, as the little star there and the bold wording says, we recommend that you make a backup of your data before starting this function. You are making a really big change to the database, major change to the database, and so it would be a good time to make a backup of your data. We're not going to talk about backing up the data today. If you have questions about it, again, please call us. But definitely it's one of those things where it would probably be just easier to undo the problem by restoring a backup rather than trying to go through. There is no undoing of the auto-assign numbers function once it's done. Like as much as we can change them with one mouse click, essentially, there is no one-click undo for those changes short of a backup. So make a backup of your data if you're unsure if you're going to want your changes, okay? So again, as the balloon there, the call out talks about is to get here, click on givers and then auto assign numbers. When we click on that, this message pops up. warning us that we will have exclusive access to the auto-assign numbers and manage numbers windows, and that no one else will be able to use either of these functions while we're in this screen. That's really mostly important only for net users that are running church windows on a network. Two people trying to access the giver numbers or manipulate the giver numbers simultaneously is not permitted. So basically that's what this is telling us, okay? So once we click OK on that, well, and sort of again, folks, why we're doing this topic at particularly this time of year is because, we're approaching the end of the year. And so a lot of folks in churches are wanting to make large changes or change their envelope numbers in anticipation of distributing new envelopes for next year. So we're getting a lot of support calls on this as it was considered an end-of-year topic. We actually do discuss this in the Donations New Year Prep and Help page there, or video. Talks all about auto-assigning giver numbers and making the changes the same way. That's why we're discussing this, okay? So this is going to basically be saying, okay, we're changing our numbers that are current as of, say, 2018, and we're wanting to assign them for our new numbers, to have our new numbers changed as of January 1st of 2019. And in the upper left here, right up here, it says start date for numbers. And so by default, the software is naturally wanting to put in 1/1 of 2019, okay? Certainly you could make 2018 here, but we're not here to do that, okay? We're here to make changes for the numbers from 18 to give new numbers to people starting in 2019, okay? Okay, so right here, notice it says numbers starting after this date will be deleted, backup recommended. So there's, again, another warning about backing up your data. So again, if you're unsure about the changes, whether you're going to like them or want them, make a backup of your data, okay? Basically, folks can keep their same number forever if the church doesn't choose to want to change them, okay? This is not a required function in the software, folks, okay? This is a choice you make, the church makes. So if the church chooses to leave numbers assigned to everybody in perpetuity, the software doesn't care about that. You can do that, okay? If you don't change the number, it'll just carry over the number into the next donation period or into the future forever until it's either deleted or changed or removed or changed, okay? So per the date, we're going to leave it as January 1 of 19, and we're simply going to click OK. Okay, notice the lower half of the window is not live. Now when we click OK, it's loading our givers, and now the window is live, okay? So now we're basically having to choose the givers and the people that we're wanting to assign our numbers, our new numbers to for the new year, okay? This is where this gets to be a little bit more complex or complicated, but not too terribly much. I think it's pretty manageable, okay? If you're changing numbers for the new year, folks, it's really important that you go in and end the numbers under Manage Numbers for those folks who have one currently but won't have one for next year. The reason why this is the case is because the system's not going to allow us to assign one number to the two different people with the same date range, okay? So if we don't end numbers for people who have passed or who have left the church or no longer at the church or no longer needing a number, the system's going to detect that as a conflict, and that wouldn't be good. That's going to be a problem, okay? So you would want to go into Manage Numbers and enter an end date for anyone who currently has a number but won't have one in future. If the number is changing, don't worry about that. You can leave that without an end date, leaving that with the start date, but just enter an end date for those folks, okay? I'll explain why that's important here shortly. So in the upper left, it says select multiple givers to add givers to the givers to include list. Well, we notice here in the upper left, we've got include those with numbers, we've got include those without numbers. We can ask the system to display givers that are in a specific range of envelope numbers. We can even have it set up with a named range, okay? So you can define pretty much or choose, you have full control here as to who you want to include or have in your list to assign your numbers to, okay? So like if you've got members in one range of numbers and then visitors in another, something like named range might be suitable for you. Okay, children's envelope, see, 200 to 250. So we're not going to use that today, but you do have that kind of flexibility and granularity that you do have that much control where you can do that, okay? We're not going to go to that. We're not at that level of complexity here. We're actually keeping this very simple today, okay? So we're going to assume we've done all of our maintenance on our numbers for ending those who won't have one next year. So we're going to uncheck include those without numbers. We don't want to assign a number to those folks who don't currently have one, at least not at this time. Leaving include those with numbers. Also, we're going to go right down here to the very bottom, and we're going to uncheck the box here where it says include givers whose last number ended on December 31st of 2018. Okay? Those people that had a number this year that won't have one next year, we're not wanting to assign them a number. We don't want them to appear in this list. So it is important that we do uncheck that box. Okay? And then it'll remove those folks from this list on the left. So the assumption at that point is all of these folks that are listed with numbers down the left side are ones that we definitely want to assign numbers for next year. We're going to go right down here to the bottom, and we're going to click Select All. It highlights them. We click the right-facing arrow to move them over to our list on the right under Givers to Include. Okay? If I now did have some folks that don't have numbers, that don't have numbers that I want to assign them to, I can go down this list and I can find some names here that I want to add, Andrea Green or, different people if I want to add those folks over there. So nothing says I have to do them in two separate groups, okay? These are my list of folks now on the left that are in my system that don't currently have a number, okay? So you can kind of do a mixture of both. So we're going to add a few of those folks. Okay, so we've added both a combination of ones that have numbers for the current year that are changing, and we're also adding in some folks who don't currently have a number that we want to assign them now a number to starting on 1/1 of 19. When our list is now correct or current on the right, we're simply going to click OK. So I'm being asked, do I still have to end numbers for deceased, transferred, and inactive members and visitors? Susan, to confirm, yes. That's what I was stating before about why it's so important that you have to do that maintenance first so you can uncheck this include givers whose last number ended on December 31st. Great question. Yes, you have to go in and end those numbers for those folks first. Otherwise, it's going to generate conflicts for us. Okay? So assuming our list now on the right is current, we're going to now click OK. It now then takes us to our auto-assign numbers window. All right, and here's our list of people that are in our list, okay, that we're assigning for. So one of the most common things that we get asked through support about this is, well, I want to assign my numbers alphabetically. Okay, so I want them to be listed alphabetically before I assign them with whatever my starting number is. So how you do that is you go right up here to the top and click on the column header called Giver Name, and look at that. All of our givers now are sorted alphabetically from A to Z, regardless of whether they have a number. All right? So the list is now in alphabetical order the way that we're wanting, simply by clicking on the column header called Name. Then we're going to go down here to our button in the bottom left called Select All. It highlights all of them. And then we're going to steer our focus here now to the upper left where it says Assign Numbers Starting With. And it's going to default to number 1. We're fine with that, but you can enter, essentially, folks, any starting number you want. Okay? But we want to start with number 1, and then we're simply going to click the button called Assign Selected. So now once we click on that now notice it says new number starting on 1/1 of 19. Our first person in the list, Nina, has number 1, and when we scroll down the list, it shows our last one assigned to our last one listed alphabetically, regardless of whatever their current number is as of 12/31 of 2018. Okay? So, if again, folks, you don't do the maintenance correctly and you see anything in here that's red, that's telling us that there is a potential conflict. There is a conflict, okay? and it's not going to allow you to reassign that or change that or save this until the conflict is resolved. So again, I cannot stress the importance of going in and ending the numbers under manage numbers for those who won't have one for next year before you come into this window. The system doesn't automatically end them simply because they're not in this list, okay, or they're removed from the list. If you go, oh, I don't like this list, you can also go to the button here in the upper right-hand corner. It says reset to current number for selected. Okay, so if you go, oh, I don't like that, I'm going to want to go back to my original list, you can click on that, okay? Also, if the church currently uses numbers and they choose not to, because donations doesn't require that giving is not posted to an envelope number, it's posted to a person. So many churches are no longer using envelope numbers, therefore they don't want to assign them, and so they have, maybe based on an old SIS version of Church Windows, have been using numbers, but they don't want to because they don't have to. We can come in here and do the end numbers for selected in the upper right-hand side too, right here. Basically saying we want to take away or remove all of our envelope numbers for our folks here. So if you're one of those churches and you don't use envelopes physically for offering envelopes for your members and visitors, you can use that end numbers for selected to remove all of the envelope numbers from your givers' records, okay? So if the list looks good, and then, what I recommend is I just tell folks, take a look through the list. It's a quick, perusal through here to take a quick look and make sure that the names and numbers all look good, okay? Because, right down here in the bottom right, we've now got our save and close button, okay? Right here, save and close. Once I save and close, this is now saved, and I've got all of my numbers ending on December 31st of 18, and the new numbers are assigned on January 1 of 19, okay? Again, there's no easy undo for that function, okay, for that feature if that's the case. So once this is done, it's a lot of work to get it undone short of restoring a backup. So I don't want to click save and close until I'm convinced or I'm sure that the list is good and I'm happy with the list. In this case, my list looks fine to me. So I'm going to simply click save and close. It says donations, and now my new numbers are assigned for 2019. We're not going to be covering printing labels for this today, folks. If you wish to learn more about that, you can go right up here to supporting on our website, New Year Prep and Help. And then when we go down here under our videos and documents page here, it's taking a few seconds to load. Right here, Donations New Year Preps does discuss and cover how to print labels with envelope numbers on them for your envelope boxes. Either that or the Donations New Year Setup video will also detail and show you that information as well. It also has exporting envelope numbers for an envelope number company too, if you want as well, okay? But that, folks, is our auto-assign numbers video or topic for the day today, okay? I'm about a minute early here. I just want to make sure that we do kind of get to all of the questions. It does look like we have a number of questions in here. So let me get back into here and let me see what we've got. Say I had someone with number 8 for 2018 and they have left the church and I ended their number. When I auto-assign 2019, will number 8 be used for someone else? Andrea, yes. That number, I mean, assuming you start with 1 or anything below number 8 will be assigned to somebody different starting on January 1 of 19. Great question. Susan's asking, can you resolve the conflicts from this screen? Sure. You can go into the auto-assign number, Susan, and just change the number, but you have to know which number it's conflicting with. You can manually change the number right there, and if the red goes away, then it's detected that the number that you're assigning it to is no longer a conflict. But typically, I would probably want to go out and research the ones that were there to try to see what I couldn't get it to be, so I could assign them alphabetically the way that I'm wanting. What can we do with the choose givers button? Sorry, I'm not sure which one we're on there. Let me try a different date on this, folks. Sorry. I just want to see the list. Choose givers. I'm sorry. Maybe you're talking about on the next window. Oh, no, that's a good question. Okay, I'm seeing it now. Yeah, choose givers is basically saying you want to go back to your previous window. So saving, if we say no to that, it just takes us back to our choose givers window. I'm sorry, I completely spaced on that, disconnected on that. Good question. Yeah, it just basically says you're not happy with the folks in the list. You want to go back to your choose givers menu and re-choose your givers. Good question. How to find this webinar on the website. I was called out on the middle of this one and got back. Okay. I think you've got the, if we go back to our support, well, right here again under your donations, New Year prep steps, it will detail very similar topics to, what we're showing here. But if we go to the support center, let me go to support center and see if I can find something here. And we click, sorry, let me wait for the page to load here, folks. Excuse me. All right, so now the page is loaded. We click in auto assign. Not sure why it's not typing in there. Auto assign. There it is. Auto donations, auto assign giver numbers. This was from October of last year. So yeah, this same exact video for the same topic in the previous version, version 17 and newer, is already out there. This one will do because this one's on version 21. But it'll be a week or 10 days. You can review the same topic using this video that's already out there. Great question. Auto assign numbers is not needed if only a few numbers are changing for next year, correct? That's correct, Sue. So typically if you're wanting to just change a handful of numbers, I would probably recommend going to manage givers and manage numbers and just changing them here. But the one thing I encourage to keep in mind about manually changing numbers is you have to make sure that both the number is ending for the one person you're removing it from, but also that the number that you're changing it to is also, the new number is also not assigned to somebody else. So there's kind of a couple things you need to check. That might be something you want to contact technical support about or support staff about if you're having trouble understanding that or getting a hold of that. Good question. But you're right. You can go to auto assign manage numbers and just change a handful of numbers there at will. You bet. Good questions. I think I got to all of those. Yeah, I think it looks like I did. All right, folks, I'm not seeing any other questions coming in here. We've gone a few minutes long here. I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar for everybody. We hope it's been helpful. Please call us through support if you have any questions or problems. I hope everybody has a great day. All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.